time for 2 things to draw. Prompt 7, I think? See what we got. A cabin, mushrooms, shrubbery, and Bob Marley. Alright, this is definitely gonna be a weird one. Let's just get into it.
So, of course, as I was looking at these prompts, the first 3, a cabin, mushroom, shrubbery, that's way too easy. That's like a normal scene, and that's sort of what I started with. Then there's the addition of Bob Marley, which was, I don't know, it threw me for a loop. I wasn't really sure how to add him in. So I had to look up a reference. He seems like a very happy dude, has dreadlocks, thought that was fun. But I don't just want to do a basic cabin. So I tried putting mushroom on top of a cabin, tried making a shrub into a cabin, and was bored with those. So then I remembered I have a sketch in my sketchbook of sort of this mushroom house, and decided the mushroom could be the cabin. Add a little mushroom chimney, mushroom for a doorknob, that sort of stuff. Little mushroom things to jump on over the door. Like the mushrooms in Mario Kart. Yeah, that was what I was thinking of. Bob Marley, of course, chilling on the roof, just hanging out. And then I wasn't really sure where to add the shrubs in. So I tried a few things, but it just wasn't looking right. So the shrub just ended up in the background of the final piece. And I think it's nice. It adds some sort of like depth and grounds the piece. But yeah, that's it. It was an artistic choice. It wasn't because I needed to add it in somewhere, and that was just what I went with. It wasn't a cop-out. Nope. It was intentional. Sure. So yep, I'm just lining things now, and this is Bob Marley. If you don't know about Bob Marley, the little bit of research that I've done on him and what I know about him, he's been a huge influence in the Jamaican genre of music. If I'm saying that incorrectly, I'm sorry. Again, this was really like quick Google search. So if I'm saying anything incorrectly, I'm sorry. He's also associated with Rastafarianism. It's a religion that I do remember studying in college, but I can't quite remember much about it. But yeah, since I don't know enough about it, I'm not really going to say anything about it. But that's something he's associated with. He also seems to be a very just positive, happy, chill kind of guy, and I wanted to make sure that came across in this piece. He's also associated with the sort of support of marijuana. It seems a little bit more like he supports it recreationally than medicinally, which, whether you agree or disagree with him or not, it's fine either way. Your opinions are valid. But that's just something he's associated with from what I've researched, so that's cool. I guess if you support that, you can assume what the shrub in the background is, and if you don't support that, then it's just a regular old shrub bush thing. I don't know. I didn't really choose. I just put a shrub in the background. And yeah, I also saw that he's normally in pictures with the, like, wow, why can't I talk? He's normally in pictures with, like, the colors yellow, red, and green. So I wanted to make sure that was in this piece because Bob Marley has unfortunately passed away. And I know that was a huge thing for a lot of people. It was really upsetting. And if I've just re-upset you, I'm sorry. But since he was in this piece and he's like he was a real life person, not just some random character I made up, I wanted to make sure he was like honored in a way that seemed to be associated with him. So that was sort of my intention of making sure he looked very calm and happy and just relaxed. And I wanted to make sure the yellow, red, and green colors were in there because it just seemed to make sense, not just with this piece, but because those are colors I saw him associated with, and I wanted to make sure they were in there. And I know I'm real inventive. That shrub in the background was green. I know, it was real interesting. And if you haven't noticed by now, I'm using these pencils on textured paper, and, well, that's because they're water soluble. And so were the markers that I used. I just wanted to try some more watercolor things, and so that's what I went with. And I really, really like these pencils. There's something about them, when you put them down, they're just sort of like dull-ish colors. But then when you add water, they brighten up so much. Like, you can see that here with the yellow, and once I move on to, like, the red really stands out, and so does the green. But I'm a big fan of these. The markers that I used, also water-soluble. When blending them with with water, they sort of pilled up the paper, and I don't know why, because it's watercolor paper, so maybe I'm doing something wrong, but I don't know. It handled the other water well, so I'm just going to blame the markers, I guess. I still like them, but they were a little weird to work with. I also, in this piece, I tried to work on like my highlights and my shadows, and I'm pretty proud of how they turned out, even though I struggled a bit with the markers especially to blend them. And I'm just using like a paper towel to help take up some of the pigment, I guess, because I wanted to lighten things up, and in some places it worked out well, and others it didn't. But yeah, I was just trying to focus on where my light source was, because sometimes I just kind of add in shadows where I think they would look cool, and it doesn't necessarily make any sense. So I was trying to focus on like the sunlight sort of coming in. I was thinking of it like it was a sunset, because that seems very relaxed to me and went with the vibe of this piece. So yeah, that's just what I wanted to add in. And I go back over with like the pencils and markers later that you'll see to try to deepen up some of those darker areas, and then using a paper towel try to lighten up other areas to make sure it's clear where the light source is coming from. I'm pretty proud of how it turned out, just because this is something I struggle with, so I worked on it, and I think it went well. I also don't typically put a light source sideways. It's normally a lot higher, I guess, instead of like coming from the side as much, but I think it worked out well in this piece. Might not be incredibly accurate, but I mean, I have a very cartoon style, so it's not very accurate anyway, because it's a cartoon. And here's a place where I lightened up that middle mushroom way too much, and kept trying to fix it, and wouldn't let it dry and be patient with it, because that made more sense. So of course I didn't do that. Yeah, eventually I think I fixed it, but it was a struggle. But yeah, this piece overall, it was really interesting to me and fun to work on. It just, I don't know. The mushroom, shrubbery, and cabin part was kind of boring, and then adding in Bob Marley to it it gave me that sort of extra twist that I needed to make it a little more interesting. This is definitely something I would not have put together. Sure, a mushroom house, sure, I've done that, but all of the other things, I don't think I would put them together. So, I just really like how this ended up turning out. And it was a lot of fun to try and figure out, how do I make a real life person into my style as like a character without making it look like someone else. And maybe to you this doesn't look like Bob Marley, but I was pretty proud of it. I don't know. I know it's pretty basic, but I think it's the like chill vibe and positive mood that I gave him is what I'm the most proud of. I like to do expressions, so I think this represents him pretty well. But yeah, I don't have too much more to say about this piece. It was a lot of fun. It was something different. I liked these pencils a whole lot. I will probably do a review on those and the markers. The markers honestly blend really well together to make a bunch of different colors, and it's amazing. But yeah, I'm just liking how this piece turned out. So, thanks so much for watching, guys. It means so much to me. Like, a heck of a lot. If you liked it, make sure you like it. If you didn't like it, I guess don't like it. Subscribe if you want to, don't if you don't. And yeah, I will see you in the next one. Do you want to see more shenanigans? Then make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on any of my future videos. Oh, you want to see more shenanigans like right now? Then check out these suggestions on your screen or head on over to my Instagram. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Check back soon for some more shenanigans. Bye!